service.
Hi, my name is Cassandra and I'll be helping you today. Can I get your first and last name, please?
Josh Gray, Gray.
And just a security question, what was the name of your first pet?
Chairman Meow.
Great. What can I help you with?
Yeah, I'm having trouble with my password.
I'm sorry, sir. This is customer care. Passwords are a tech support issue. Please hold while I transfer you.
This is Alvin. Can I have your first and last names, please?
Oh, I just gave it to the last person.
Yes, but that was customer care. This is tech support.
Josh Gray, Gray, and the answer to my security question is Chairman Meow. My password is working out.
No, you're going to need password recovery. This is password creation. Please hold.
Hello? Josh Gray, Gray.
I'm going to handle A through F here. Please hold.
Come on, this is supposed to...
Service support, this is Steve. Please hold.
Oh!
Pass.
Please hold! Please hold! Josh Gray. Chairman Meow! What did I do?
Very good, sir. And what's your problem name?
What dimension is this? Please hold.
Thank you for your patience. Your password has now been reset and will work within the next couple of minutes.
Finally.
Is what we would be telling you if you reached us during business hours. Unfortunately, it's after 5 p.m. and our office is now closed. Thank you. Goodbye.
तो आपने इस वीडियो में देखा
Anyway, we are in this world of crazy experience of he's lucky, right? He's talking to people sometimes. When I try to call my bank, I can barely get a human being on the phone. I have to do about 5 steps to get to a person. And then sometimes that person also hangs up on you. And or they put you on hold and they don't come back for a while. Maybe your money on your phone runs out, or you have a bad connection or something, and you have to start over and get some special password in order to talk to another person. If you want to talk to the U.S., and that's my bank, right? They're holding my money, so I'm like, money, you're holding my money. Can you have a little respect for me? It's very annoying. Almost every time I go overseas, at least half, I ask them, I tell them, I say, this is the country I'm going to go to, and this is what I'm going to be there, how long, how many days, can you make sure that my cards are working in that country at that time? Every time. I use them one time and then they shut the card off, and I'm like, okay. And then if I have to call them, last time it happened in the US, I had my credit card and my bank card and they were not working, and I told them I was going there. When I called them back, I couldn't call them on a normal phone number. In the US, they don't have a Viber, they don't have a WhatsApp. So I had to call them from my mom's US phone. I had to talk to them for about 10 minutes to get everything working, and it cost me $45 in the phone call in order for my mom's phone company to call Vietnam. $45 to get my card reactivated. So that was pretty unfun, and I really hate banks. Banks have incredibly terrible customer service. I'll give you another example. So I had a house in the US, right? And I have to pay every month, I have to pay what is called a mortgage. So you buy the house, the bank finances your house, you pay 20-25%, and then you pay every month for 20 years until it's finished. That's called a mortgage. Now, if you don't pay or you have some problem in your payment, then the bank can come and take your house from you. It's a big loss. So I was paying my house from here at the HSBC bank. And I said, okay, so great, I want to pay, and on the thing where you make the payment, it says, who should pay for the charges? Like, it costs money to send from bank to bank. So that's like a loss. You lose like $25 or more every month just to transfer the money. And it said, who should pay for this? Me or the person who receives the money? And I said, I have to pay for it, right? Because I have to pay $1,000 a month. So if they take the money out of the other side, that means they're not getting $1,000. They're getting $975, which means that I'm breaking my contract and I can lose my house. So I said to my bank, very, very strong, please, all charges must be to me. 2 months later, I get a call from my bank in the US that says, oh, you're not making your payments to your house. If you miss one more payment, you can lose your house. The bank, they didn't care. I told them that I needed to pay it on this side or else I don't pay my bill. They didn't care. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's so frustrating. And then you'll go in there, the same bank, and they'll make you write your name, you sign your signature, which is not a law. There's no law that your signature has to stay the same. There's no test for it. And they'll say, well, it doesn't look the same. And they'll make you write it like 50 times just to get your own money. I've never hated anything more than going to banks in Vietnam in particular. It's unbelievable how bad they are for customer service. So we all had some bad experiences in customer service. This is CRM. It's another way it could sometimes called CRM, or Customer Relationship Management. So if we think about CRM, we should also think about the process that the customer goes through. So this is related to process. So CRM really starts with the beginning of the interaction. Does the website work properly? Does it load properly? Then immediately a customer is like interested in a business. If the app crashes right away, that's not very good. I don't know if I want to deal with a company the app is crashing. If I can't find a button to change the English to Vietnamese or the Vietnamese to English, it's hard for me to navigate the website. I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do. That's annoying. I'm gone. I'm out of there. Vietjet. Whoa, don't get me started on Vietjet. So I'll go into Vietjet. I'll try to order some airplane tickets. And by the time I can put, like for me, my wife, my 2 kids, by the time I get finished putting all the information in, the passports, the expiration date, the birthdays, the nationalities, the address, etc., the email, phone, by the time I get finished with all that, 50% of the time it says, oh, we're sorry, this transaction timed out. You need to start over again. I've done that like 4 times in a row where I have to take 40 minutes just to put the information into the website just to save money on their stupid low fares. And then you'll go to the shop and they'll say, sorry, you cannot get the low fare at the shop. You can only get it online. And you say, well, I cannot even get it online because I cannot type in all the information fast enough. So one time I even ordered 2 tickets and then 2 tickets. One for me and my son and another one for my wife and my other son. Just because I couldn't get 4 pieces of information at one time. I could do 2 but not 4. So I had to order 2 different orders. And hopefully I didn't have a plane that was full, and then the second time I tried to order there were no tickets left. That would have been shocking. So the ordering of the products, the relationship when you first meet a customer service representative. If you go to a cafe, the first person who talks to you in the cafe, hello, can I help you? The person who answers the phone, like in this situation. So you're going through this process, then you're trying to order. A classic problem for ordering, if you like coffee, like your teacher likes coffee, then you end up in a situation where like the classic kinds of coffee that like there's a change in the market. Vietnamese coffee places are now changing to some kind of espresso or Italian style. So they have the machine, they offer lattes, cappuccinos, espressos. These are made with shots, they're called shots of espresso. Almost every cafe in the world that has espresso will have a system where you can add an extra shot of coffee to your drink. So instead of having a latte with one shot, then you can add an extra shot. If the process or the people who make the menu don't really understand the customers and how they order, then they make the menu wrong. Like Coffee House. Coffee House is a nightmare menu. The people from Coffee House came from Urban Station. Urban Station's menu was clear. And then if you went to a coffee house, they didn't even understand what they're offering. So if you want to order espresso shot, usually what will happen is you'll have like a 20 or 25,000 dong espresso shot. And then if you want an extra shot, it'll be 5 or 10 extra. So it's not the same price, right? It's cheaper, you can add more coffee for a discount. And the way that they make it is like, if you ever were a barista, when you make one shot of coffee, you put it through one hole, so actually you use not even twice as much coffee to make this 2-hole shot. You don't really use twice as much coffee for that. So it kind of makes sense. But in Coffee House, if you want to order an extra shot of espresso with your first shot, they were like, okay, one is 25 and then the second one is 25. All of a sudden it's 50,000 just to have an espresso shot. And I'm like, okay, that's not really the price, right? Like, how can you know, so they're different, you know, so as a customer, you're just frustrated. You don't even want to go there. Then, of course, you have the, you know, feedback and like, you know, checking the customer if you're a waiter in a restaurant. Is everything okay, sir? Is everything all right? Paying attention to the customers' needs when they're using or consuming the product, trying to anticipate or guess what they need. And then if it's a product that you take home, then you want to check the after-sales service. You want to see if you if you're actually if they're satisfied with the product. And then if they have a warranty or a problem, like a password reset, like this guy, how do you handle that? How do you handle people who have problems with your product or service? So that's all CRM. So it goes all the way from the beginning, from customers' questions, first interactions, ordering, follow-up in orders, how people pay money, what's the feeling when they pay money, and all to the after-sales service. So I think I gave examples of pretty much all of those. Every business needs to I'm on page 77, this is chapter 7, this is the end of chapter 7. Our next class is going to move on to consumer protection because we're going to have to do that section. Every business needs to manage customer relations by providing good customer service. The attraction and retention of customers is important, of course, because without customers, the business can't function, but your best customers are the repeat customers. So the people who are satisfied and come back. These are also the people who tell other customers and give word-of-mouth promotion to your business. There are several major customer service processes that can occur in a business. This do not apply to all businesses all the time. Customer service is different for a service than it is for a product. Managing the customer experience, and we'll put that under process in our marketing section, P number 6. So P number 5 is people, and it's also part of this, and P number 6 is process. So how do you do things, and then what kind of people react to you? GrabBike, that's another crazy company. They've gotten better, but they used to be very crazy with their customer service. They ask you for so many pieces of information. You know, what's the last trip you made? What's your address? What's your phone number? What's your, you know, they'll ask you like, you know, some other security question. Sometimes they'll even ask you like, what's the phone that you're using, sir? What kind of phone? I'm like, I never told you that. I never told you my phone. So you took data from my phone, put it into your computer, and now you want to ask me to confirm this data that I never gave you? That's in my life. What else are you taking out of my phone? What other data are you stealing from me? So I'm very nervous when I deal with those people now at Grab because I'm shocked. I did not know that they were trying to track what kind of phone I had. I never knew that. To me, that's not acceptable. But so there you go. So that has to do with, so there is some privacy issues now too. I think customers are definitely worried about privacy. So there's other elements. So customer queries means customer questions. I'm going to go through this quite quickly. You can do it in detail if you need to. Customers will make queries about a product or service that the business is selling, and staff must be confident and trained and informed so they're able to inform the customers. Information can also be provided to customers in written form, and there's a range of documents that might be produced for this purpose. You can have these days you might want to have multilingual menus, for example, and translations can be quite funny sometimes. Customer queries, online shopping, mixed languages. Sometimes they have a pop-up window that says, "Can I help you?" and you're supposed to type in a chat question. That could be a robot at this point. It could be an AI. I'm not sure that you're actually talking to a person because so many people in the US cannot see a doctor. There's a whole market of doctors. I don't even know if they're doctors, just people who try to answer medical questions online who pretend to be doctors. But there's many ways that you can ask questions from a company. Email is usually slower than people want to use. Also, some companies still use email. I think it's slow. If you're smart now, you have some company phone number that can be reached with VoIP, which means the free calling services like Viber or WhatsApp. So you'll also see on some websites or actually Facebook, some Facebook stores, they'll have a section in the Facebook store that says customer queries or customer questions will be usually answered within 6 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 2 hours. So they'll give some time frame for you so you feel comfortable in your expectation if somebody doesn't answer you. That's pretty smart. I think that's very smart as a company to mention how often you're going to get back to the customer once they get in touch with you. When you're doing customer queries, of course, you've got to understand what you're selling. If you're selling a technical product, then you've got to think about what the customer knows or doesn't know about the product, how much information they can accept at one time, what kind of what kind of choices or what kind of payment methods they're expecting. I'm on page 78 now. Make sure you understand where they're located and give them any contract information, privacy information, or warranty information so they can be dealt with in complaints. Let's look at these great names. These beautiful names. Adalberto. Adalberto is a customer service officer at the information desk in a large shopping center. He's just been trained to respond to typical questions posed by most customers, and he has a good range of pamphlets and brochures and information at his disposal to hand to customers who are looking for it. Whenever he assists a customer, he's not just handing them the information, but he opens it for them, goes through it, and shows them the locations of the shop in the mall. Thanks, Alberto. Interactions. I think I mentioned before that acknowledgement is huge. So when somebody goes into a new business and they see that the staff is busy, If the staff looks at them and smiles and notices them, then you're much more comfortable to stay there and to wait. Then if the staff never looks at you, you think, I could be here forever. So I believe, I don't know how long I'm going to be there. It just takes a little bit of acknowledgement on your staff and communication to keep the customer interested. Just a little bit. Another great name, Brigida. Brigida is an insurance officer who works at the claims desk. When assisting a customer who had recently a terrible house fire, not a normal or a nice house fire, a terrible house fire, as well as organizing her insurance, they helped the customer with the insurance payment. Brigida, listen carefully to the customer, describe her concerns and worries, and ask extra questions that are targeted so they know more about this information, thus uncovering a concern the customer had with the replacement of specific items of furniture. Because she was efficient and not rushing the customer at the same time, Brigida was able to add additional information to the insurance claim, which hopefully led to the insurance claim customer's needs requirements being met. So taking extra time to make sure the customer is getting exactly what they want. I've had experiences where I got rushed through a transaction and I went, oh, I'm not sure I really wanted it. So, not too often, but sometimes. Okay, so telephone conversations, I'm on 78 at the bottom. Telephone conversations are different to face-to-face interactions because the customer does not have other non-verbal cues that they can rely on for information from yeah, I don't know, this is not a great article. But it is true that because if you get the better customer service you have and the better information you get from your customers, then it'll help you to A, serve them better, B, give feedback to the management about what's good and what's bad about the service, and help to innovate, and also make the staff actually feel like they're part of they believe in the company, right? If your staff is believing they're helping the customers, they feel better about their work and they're more motivated. Telephone conversations are different. The person answering the phone needs to be trained in the correct telephone manner and provide fast, accurate assistance. The business should ensure calls are answered quickly so the customer's not waiting on the other end for a long time. I don't know. I think I waited for an hour one time. Ugh. And transfer to the correct employee. That's the problem there, right? This guy, he couldn't find who was the correct employee. And so he kept going in the circle and he still doesn't have his password. If a message is taken that's important that the call is returned within a specific time. Again, you can announce that to the customer. Look at this, another example. Ooh, another cool name. Look at this name. Gaetano. This is a very Italian name. Alberto, Brigida, and Gaetano. Gaetano is a receptionist at the school, and he's answering all the incoming calls. Hey, no, this is Gaetano. He knows all the important extension numbers by heart. He can refer you to the other people, no problem. And he's able to transfer a call quite quickly. Thank you, Gaetano. To the correct department. First, announcing the caller and then ensuring a connection is made before hanging up the phone. Okay, Gaetano, I'm out of here. Bye, thank you, customer, bye. Okay, that's it. He's gone. Follow up. Follow up. Next page, 79, follow up. Fen. Another crazy name. Fen is an electrician. Did you know that? And has just visited a customer to give them a price quote. Price quote, very important. Now, if we're talking about Australia, in general, it's illegal to give prices that don't include tax. All prices in Australia must include the full price so the customer knows the price at one time. If you're in the US, you can get killed by sales tax. If you're in Singapore, you can get killed by like 20 taxes. The price might say $10 plus, 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 plus. That means 4 different pluses. It could end up being $15 or $17. You don't even know. I hate shopping in Singapore for that reason. Ben is an electrician and has just visited a customer to give them a price quote. Quote means price quote. So if I say to you, how much to paint this classroom? How much if I want to paint the walls? Okay, a professional painter is going to look at the level of difficulty, how many weird places. This room is very simple. It's just square. Okay, how many square meters? How much paint do I need? Okay, it's going to take me 3 hours and it's going to be this much paint. So here's my quote. I'll say $2 million to paint this room. Okay, someone will give you a price quote. This person in the example, Fan, price quote for the installation of a new home surround sound theater system. One day later, she emails the customer with the itemized quote for the cost, attached and a contract for the work to be done. The point is the customer wants to know the full price before they order. They don't want to be surprised, oh, we found out some extra stuff and now it's going to be more expensive. Nobody wants that. She then follows this up with a phone call to arrange a pickup of the contract and to set a date. So follow-up means to go back to the customer and answer their question with some detail and documents, if possible. So, what the information is sent directly should include covering letter or email, not include additional information unless it's directly relevant to the customer. Just focus on the thing that you're focused on. Okay, then the business should ensure that the customers followed up again in a week to see if they made a good decision or that they're happy with their decision. Documentation of orders. The thing with the, now they can track packages with the radio frequencies and they have a constant updating of information for customers who are receiving overseas packages, for example. So there's documentation of orders. Whenever you order a plane ticket, they give you a ticket code. You got to make sure you keep that code so you can put it into the website so you can figure out what's happening with your flight. So typically these days, your documentation of a transaction or order is going to either come in an email. Sometimes it comes in a text message and an email. And that helps you to be able to follow and to understand what's happening. Documentation means creating some documents, so that could be paper, or it could be an email, or it could be a text message. And it keeps, the highlight of this is the other very important area is that customers remain fully informed for the whole time of the processing of their order. So customers might be waiting for the order for a specific date, and they might have taken time off work or they're waiting for it, so you need to keep in touch with them and have information for them to help them. Mr. Jean is in charge of the distribution warehouse for a furniture manufacturer. I'm on page 80. Whenever he receives a delivery docket paper for a customer order, it has a requested time and date for delivery, so he's got to go and call the customer the day before the delivery to make sure that they're going to be there. And if there's a delay, also have to call them to tell them that there's a problem. So a lot of websites, sometimes in Vietnam, you order something on Lazada or you order something online, and then you find out that they had it's over. They have it online, you ordered it, you talk to them, you arranged it, and then by the time you find out that the order is gone because they don't have the product anymore. So that's a little bit annoying. Billing customers can be one of the more stressful areas of business, especially if there are issues with unpaid accounts and overdue debtors. Usually, unless you're a wholesaler or a supplier, you don't have a lot of problems with unpaid accounts. But sometimes you do. So if a business has an efficient customer-friendly process that is transparent and clear, that means like maybe, updating the bills that need to be paid, then the potential stress can be caused by employees who have to follow up on accounts. By sending out clear invoices and statements on a regular basis, everyone will know where they stand. I think that's fair. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'll just do some parts of this after-sales service. It's a short video today. I didn't want to do a long one. Again, I'm not going over every single word in this section. I leave it up to you to review it. After-sales service, number 6. It can be challenging for a customer to return an item to a business or to request repairs because they might be concerned about a lack of they don't understand what the problem is. Maybe they feel like they're stupid. How come I can't get this to work? It worked yesterday and now it doesn't work. Especially with computers, right? Computers are sophisticated, and people who fix computers are kind of a lemon question kind of high. And so, sometimes it's like, you feel stupid when you're trying to tell them what's going on with your computer. Anyway, you shouldn't be shy when you're at the computer store anyway. After sales service, you bring a product back or you want to complain that it's not working properly. It is important to make the customer, if you're at the after sales service, it's important to make the customer feel reassured and to explain the repair to them as much as possible, or to their level of interest. A lot of times, people are just like, here, just fix it, I don't care. But sometimes people really want to know what's wrong, or in a computer, they're really worried about losing the memory and the data that they had on the computer. So they really need, if you're me, right, I'm an English speaker, I can speak a little Vietnamese, and I'm in the shop, and I'm telling the guy, the hard drive's not working, but I need the data. Don't erase the data. I'm not sure that I'm saying it clearly enough that he's like not going to just reinstall the whole computer and delete everything. I'm terrified. So I have to make it crystal clear. I have to bring an extra drive with me and say, here's an extra drive. Please, please, please. Don't erase my stuff. So you have to be very, if you're in a multiple language situation, it can be more difficult even. When a customer, I'm on page 81, it is important at the top, when a customer, I would highlight that little sentence. When a customer initially purchases a product, they should be given information about any warranties or guarantees and the process to follow if a return or repair is needed. Super important. So I would highlight that. Page 81, top of the page. When a customer brings a faulty product to the business, they need to be listened to carefully and understand the problem and how it occurred. Customers should be given an idea of the employee's expertise and repairing an item and replacing a returned item. They need to be given a time frame for how long it's going to take, right? Nobody wants to wait forever. It might affect your decision, especially if it's a computer. Given reassurance that there is concern for their problem and given advice so the problem does not happen again. They must be advised what is going to happen, how long it will take, and any costs it will. So everything is about information. Everybody wants to know when they're going to get the baby back. So they have a little, they'll call it complaint management procedures. When I worked for a company, I used to take complaints from customers. They would call the phone number on the food and they would talk to me if they had a complaint. So I would try to make them happy. It was usually about vegetables and fruit products. I would try to make them happy and then send them some coupons and a short apology. But if they were really angry or they talked about lawyers, I had to go, okay, hold on, I'll send you to the legal department. And I had a procedure that took them depending on how big is the complaint, different levels need to be dealt with in the company. So hopefully if you do it right though, you can have a negative situation for the company, people, unhappy customer, broken product. Hopefully you can turn it into a positive situation and you have a last chance to save a loyal customer. The rest of it, let's see, means of course, all this stuff is very obvious. Staff who deal with customer complaints need to be able to sort out the problem and provide the solution. If it's no use to a customer if the staff merely apologizes. Oh my God, it's the worst. It's no help. One time I went to Vietnam Airlines and I ordered an airplane ticket and I got a price like $1,000 for a trip to America, and then I tried to pay them with dollars. I thought I could pay with dollars. I thought the price was in dollars. The price was $1,000. It wasn't dollars. So I tried to pay in dollars and they said, no, you cannot. You have to pay in dong. So I said, okay, do you need me to go right now and do this? Because I waited a long time already. Or can you save and reserve the seat for me now, and then I will come back tomorrow and pay in dong. They said, oh, you can keep it you can come back tomorrow. Okay. So I came back tomorrow, I gave them the name, the reservation, and they said, oh, we don't have that reservation anymore. It's gone. What do you mean it's gone? What's gone? What, you said you're going to hold it for me. This is normal in buying I don't know if you buy airplane tickets, but it's normal that you can reserve an airplane ticket and keep it in advance. You can hold it. Now, I don't know if that's changed nowadays, but in that time, you can do that. And they're like, oh, we're sorry. No, I don't care about your sorry. Oh my God, so sorry. Sorry. We're so sorry. Here's another sorry. And by the time they went online and they rebooked the ticket for me, it was $1,150. So because of their mistake, I lost $150. And I got a sorry though. I have a couple, maybe I have 5 sorries. It's so nice to have all those sorries. Isn't it? Don't you want sorries? Really? Doesn't it make you happy to have a lot of sorries? So, I'm so mad, just furious. I was so mad. I was like, how can you tell people you're reserving the ticket and you don't even do it? But that's customer service. That's the kind of thing. Customers that have to deal with customer complaints need to be able to sort out the problem and provide a solution. It is no use, not even a half use, no use to a customer to just apologize and say, we can't do anything about it. It is more likely that the situation will escalate and get into a bigger fight. By focusing on the solution and keeping the customer informed about what is happening to resolve the problem, the business should be able to resolve most customer complaints satisfactorily. We see this in restaurants, right? Often. They bring the wrong dish. This is terrible, right? So like in a restaurant, someone will bring the wrong food to you and you'll be like, I don't eat muk, okay? I cannot eat this. I'm sorry, you brought the wrong thing, you did not do it right. Everybody knows, check oh, it's on the bill, see, you got it wrong. Your cook made a mistake. And then the person at the table who's the waiter is almost crying. They're like, looking at you and looking at you and looking at you. Like, it's their mistake. And they're gonna have to pay for it if you don't eat the muk. And I can't eat the muk. And they're like crying and making me feel guilty. So I came to this restaurant, I had this good feeling, oh, it's gonna be cool, I love it. Love restaurants, gonna have fun, get a good meal, relax, chill out, don't have to do any dishes, I'm free. Look at the menu, choosing, fun. Get the wrong food, and then I have to feel bad. I have to feel bad for this guy. I came here, I'm paying so I can feel bad. It's horrible. So that's a problem with the system of the restaurant, right? The restaurant should give each employee, they should be focused on me, the customer. So they should be like, oh my God, we'll be right back. We know you're in a hurry. We want you to eat with your friends. I'm gonna go get that other food right now. Run back, here, take a free drink. Sorry, be right back. Do something, focus on a solution. Instead, this guy's looking at me and he's gonna cry. So why is that? Because the restaurant, not only did they should give like at least like, something like, you can make 3 mistakes a month. So at least everybody knows when they need to be more careful, So it's like, you can make a mistake and it doesn't ruin everybody's day. Second of all, I've seen these situations where not only do they make the staff pay for the mistake, they make the staff pay the price on the menu. Not even the cost, right? The cost to make it is maybe like, let's say $60,000. And they're looking at the menu price is $120,000, and they're making the staff pay the menu price for the mistake, which means not only are they paying the cost of the mistake, they're paying profit to their boss of $60,000. So the waiter is not thinking about the customer at all. The waiter is only thinking about their own problems. So that's terrible. That's a terrible customer service situation. You want your staff to be able to make some mistakes sometimes and not feel bad and not make the customer feel bad. So I think that's a good example to end on today. And so just some basic, the rest of this chapter just talks about technology that can be used to manage customer relations. You can gather information from surveys, that's good. You can have mailing lists, that's good. That way you can continue to offer some kind of promotions or discounts. And then today everything is kind of updated. Social media is a small thing in this chapter, but actually social media is a big thing today. So what you want people to do is you want people to follow your business. If you're lucky, you get followed, and then you can promote to them. If you're making something that's funny promotions, you can get followed. Text messages, emails is kind of old school, so you can imagine all the different ways that this is all about okay, so there's managing, there's probably 3 things here. 1, managing a database. So you're able to deal with customers and follow up on your customers. So you have a database to introduce them to new offers and to follow up. 1 thing, software for that, Excel files. 2, to be able to do surveys and to be able to find out more customer research information. And 3, to be able to communicate. So all the different levels of communication. So there's communication in the software when you first go to your website. There's communication that's like person to person, whether it's emails, telephone calls, or text messaging. And then you have, those are the 3 main things. So you can just read the rest of this chapter and get a feeling, read it for the understanding of the experience of the business language, but it's not really, I don't need to go over it right now in this video. So read it for getting used to the way that the language is used and the examples. And everybody have a great day.